Now, the Western Cape is looking to establish a new entity to procure electricity at more affordable rates. The proposed entity would enter into agreements with independent power producers. For more on this, we're joined by Alwie Lester, the Special Advisor to the Western Cape Premier. Alwie, good morning. Welcome to the SA Morning. So looking at the proposition and the strategy that you are looking at, yes, you're going to enter into agreements with independent power producers, but you are looking at establishing a company, and municipalities are the proposed shareholders of that company. Will this be a for-profit company? Will there be markups to the end user? And who is the likely end user?
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to the discussion this morning. So yes, the entity will be a municipal entity. But no, it will not be a for-profit entity. It will in fact act as a trader on behalf of municipality, purchasing energy on their behalf. The idea would be that because you have the volumes, you'd be able to negotiate better pricing for energy for the citizens in the province, and obviously for the citizens and beyond in those municipalities as well.
So the shareholders of this company would be the municipalities. How do you determine whether or not they are able to participate, eligibility, and how will the shareholding structure work?
So we're currently busy with the feasibility for this as an option. We've not concluded the feasibility, but what we do know is that obviously volumes is quite critical. So the more municipalities we do get on board, it strengthens the business case for this to move forward. We haven't got to the point we have determined shareholding. What we do know is obviously municipalities will be the shareholders, but we haven't completed the feasibility to indicate what the type of shareholding would be, what would be the ratios, etc. In fact, I have to be frank and say that because we're at feasibility stage, we have not also engaged all the municipalities in the Western Cape. It's a concept that we're trying to establish and check the viability. If we find that there is a case to be made, the next step would be to then engage municipalities to see which ones of those would be keen to join. It's not obligatory, obviously, for any of the municipalities to join. They could buy through an entity like this, they could buy through a trader, or they could even buy directly from an IPP if they wanted to do that.
And so what has the reaction been so far with those that you've actually engaged with? And what would be the advantage of actually purchasing electricity from this newly established or to be established entity?
I think the general consensus from municipalities is obviously what is the revenue risk that they face, what would be the cost of this entity, and what would be the kind of tariff that would need to be in place. So those are the questions being asked by municipality, and the feasibility hopefully starts to answer some of those questions. I think the big advantage is obviously that you can then negotiate volumes when you're speaking to an IPP. You're now not talking about buying 20 megawatts or 30 megawatts, but you're talking now more about buying 200, up to, let's say, 1,000 megawatts from an IPP. I think for IPPs, that gives them comfort that they have a takeoff for their full load. That's the one. The other big advantage that you will have with this is that municipalities will only then, you'd only literally be having one contract in place for municipalities. The entity then contracts with IPPs or with energy developers. It doesn't even have to be in the Western Cape, could be Western Cape or beyond the borders if you're wheeling. But it does allow then for the administrative burden to be relieved significantly.
In effect, what this means is that you would then have to apply to be an electricity trader with NERSA, correct?
So again, yes, if it takes the form of a trader, then yes, then I think the regulator would have to be approached to establish whether registration and licensing as a trader needs to be implemented.
I'm wondering why you decided to go this route. and take on the extra burden yourselves. Could you not maybe have gotten one of the others companies who already have been issued licenses? NERSA has issued 4 traders licenses in the country already. Some of them are actually not operational, but there are seemingly some shell structures that you could have approached to actually fulfill this role instead of taking it upon yourself. Is it an option that you considered? And if not, why not?
I think part of the feasibility does then look at whether or not just buying directly from a trader is more sensible. I think one of the drivers is in fact the cost driver. I mean, traders are obviously established with the idea that they would make a profit, whereas the entity that we're speaking about would be for non-profit. So it would really be on a sort of cost recovery basis. So if we establish the entity, what's the cost? We recover that cost, but the tariff itself cannot be inflated to make a profit from this entity, which I think could be slightly different to what a typical trader does do.
So ultimately, municipalities, if they buy from this company, this newly established company, they will get the lowest possible tariff rates.
Correct. Just like any trader, they negotiate the best possible tariff with the energy developer or IPP, and we then pass on that negotiated price to the municipalities. So in effect, it should be the lowest possible price that a municipality could pay. Again, the advantage would be the volume discounts, and that helps in the negotiation there.
You have mentioned that you've appointed consultancy group PwC to do the feasibility study. What type of timelines are we talking about here? I mean, you as the Western Cape have been really quick when it comes to moving. As far as your energy is concerned, you spoke about wheeling. The next thing you know, wheeling has been implemented. The next thing you know, you've got a handbook for all municipalities to use, and you've put together an A to Z of how wheeling would work, tariffs, etc. So using that as a precursor and perhaps as previous experience, this should not be taking too long, I suppose.
So we're going to target the end of this financial year, which should be then March 2024, when we'd have the feasibility complete. And if it's proven to be viable, we will then move to the next phase, which would be to develop the business case and then take it forward to principals, municipalities, etc., to make sure that they are actually comfortable for us to move forward. I do want to indicate that although this is an initiative that is driven by a provincial government, it really has quite a large dependency on the buy-in of municipalities. So we'd like to move in a phased approach, but also in an approach that considers the municipalities and the concerns that they have. But yes, we are targeting March next year to have feasibility complete.
All right, then we'll speak to you in March 2024, Alwie.
Perfect. Thank you very much.